Hello, everybody.
Thomas Ross, can you hear me okay? Mr. Ross, can you hear me? You have to unmute.
Yes, I can.
This file 244402SM, People versus Thomas Michael Ross. Here this morning for a pretrial conference on a misdemeanor complaint that was issued by the Allegheny County Prosecutor's Office. This is on a charge of assault and battery. Your court-appointed attorney, Ms. Graver, has met with the prosecutor's office and has worked out a plea agreement for you in this case. This indicates you'll be entering a plea of guilty to a reduced charge of disturbing the peace. And sir, is that what you've agreed to do?
Yes, sir.
That charge is a misdemeanor charge. Maximum penalty is 90 days in jail and a $500 fine. Knowing that, do you still wish to plead guilty to the reduced charge of disturbing the peace?
Yes, sir.
You do plead guilty to that charge, you will not have a trial of any kind, and you'll be giving up all the following rights. First, the right to have a trial by a jury or a trial by a judge without a jury, and that would be at your choosing. Again, you've been appointed an attorney in this case at public expense. She would be there representing you if you had a trial in this case as well. At a trial, if you had one, you would have the right to call witnesses to speak for you on your behalf. If you needed help to get those witnesses to court, I would order them to appear on your behalf. At a trial, if you had one, you would have the right to see, hear, and question all the witnesses that were called against you. You'd also have the right at a trial to testify yourself or to not testify and remain silent. If you did choose not to testify at your trial, the prosecutor cannot comment on that fact before the jury. Finally, if you had a trial in this case, you'd have the right to be presumed innocent until the prosecutor proved beyond a reasonable doubt that you were guilty of this charge. And sir, do you understand those rights that I've just read to you?
Yes, sir.
Those are your trial rights. If you plead guilty, you will not have a trial, and you will give up all those trial rights. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone promised you anything regarding what your sentence will be if you do plead guilty today?
Oh, no.
Anyone threaten you to force you to do this?
No, sir.
Is it your choice to plead guilty?
Yes, sir.
And finally, are you pleading guilty to this charge because you believe you're guilty of this charge?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Graver?
Your Honor, Mr. Ross will be pleading to a factual basis of the pled to offense.
Mr. Ross, back on November 1st of last year, were you in a public place in Wayland Township here in Allegheny County?
Yes, sir. A casino.
That's what I would have guessed. And what were you doing at the casino to disturb the peace?
I guess I was just yelling, but sir, could I say a couple of things? I got PTSD and psychosis, and I didn't really know what I was doing. I mean, no, I got loud, I guess, but that's the only thing I can remember.
Okay. Well, it looks like you live up in Grand Rapids. You came down to our casino and you got loud. Where were you at? Were you actually inside the casino or outside in the garage area?
No, I was inside the casino. What it was is I play this machine all the time. Well, not all the time. You know, I've been there a few times, but I always win on this machine, and I won like $800. You know, I won 2 jackpots, and they said they never gave me the money. They said I never won. But I did. It was, a lady saw me win the money there, and that's the reason I got a little loud, I guess. And I'm sorry about that, I guess.
Okay. Well, my understanding is they have some kind of a procedure if you disagree with something that happens there at the casino regarding a payout. Is that true?
Yeah, I guess they told me that. I didn't know that, though. I didn't know you go in front of some type of board. I didn't know that, though. Because I thought they just, when they said the machine malfunctioned too. and it did one time before, and somebody won a big jackpot, and they never, you know, it malfunctioned. But yeah, I didn't realize about the you had to go in front of a board or someplace. I just thought they give you the money right there, you know, if you won the money, which I know I did, you know, and that was how I excuse me, that's how I got loud, I guess. I guess I apologize that I got loud in there, and you know, I'm never gonna go to a casino again. So it's a waste of money, I know that, on top of everything.
So you got angry about this machine not giving you your money, and you were what, yelling at one of the casino employees?
I believe I did. I don't even remember what I even said though, sir. I don't, you know, because with my with my disability from the military, I got a lot of depression problems, and I really don't remember. I got a brain tumor on top of it, and I really don't remember what I did 2 hours ago. That's how bad my brain is. And you know, if I did get real mad, I'm sorry. I don't really remember anything though.
Okay, well, Ms. Graver, would you like me to take a no contest plea if he has no memory of this incident?
Yes, please, Your Honor.
Okay, why don't you give us a police report, Mr. Ross, since you can't tell me what happened. She's going to send me a police report, and we'll take what's called a no contest plea, which means I'll have to find out from another source. Would you like me to do that, or do you remember enough as to when you went back to your slot machine at the casino, what happened when it didn't pay out?
All I remember is that they came and they worked on a machine for a half hour, and they said stand back, and I was, I did, and I was being, and I remember I was being nice, and then they.
Okay, well, if you think you were being nice, then I'm gonna have to get a police report and I'll find out what their version is. So we're gonna put you back into a waiting room. Your attorney is gonna send me a copy of the police report from the Gun Lake Tribal Police. And if you agree with what's in there, I'll be able to accept your plea. So we're gonna put you back in that waiting room. As soon as I had a chance to get that report review, we'll bring it back in, and it'll probably just be a few minutes, okay?
Okay, all right, appreciate it, sir.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Back on the record on file 24402 SM, People versus Thomas Michael Ross. Mr. Ross indicated previously he was unable to remember the events of his trip to the casino here in Allegheny County. So I'm going to take this as what's called a no contest plea, Mr. Ross, which means rather than you telling me what you remember happening, I'll find out from another source. In this case, a police report from the Gun Lake Tribal Police. Is that what you'd like me to do?
Oh, you mean go through it, or?
I will find out what happened by looking at a police report. Is that what you'd like me to do?
I know I know I got got loud, but I read the report already.
Okay.
But I just don't actually what I said. That's what I really don't know what I really said though. And because I can't remember what I said, but I remember getting a little loud. Yes.
Well, since you can't remember what you said, I'm going to use another source, that being a police report. And is that acceptable to you?
Yeah, I guess so.
I have received, for purposes of the no contest plea, a copy of Gun Lake Public Safety Incident Number 2400283. This was drafted by Officer Funk of the Gun Lake Tribal Police. Indicates that on November 1st of last year, at about 5:05 in the afternoon, he received a call from casino security advising that an unknown subject became upset and said he was going to shoot a staff member and then shoot up the casino. Based on that, he attempted to make a traffic stop on the vehicle and stopped out on US 131, a Honda CRV driven by a female, and the defendant was in the passenger side of the vehicle. He made contact with the defendant, Mr. Ross, who indicates that the casino owed him $800, and he indicated he was upset about that. He was asked if he said anything about getting a gun and shooting the place up. He said no. They talked further, and eventually Mr. Ross said he thought he may have said something about a gun, but could not remember exactly what happened. Officer Funk then went back to the casino and interviewed first a Lisa Whitaker. Lisa Whitaker was an employee of the casino. She indicates that the defendant, Mr. Ross, was on the gaming floor and that he was playing a machine that paid a amount of $115 plus $5 apparently that was already in the machine for a total of $120. And the machine paid that amount. And Mr. Ross became very upset, raising his voice and yelling at her to the point where she, Ms. Whitaker, then called in her supervisor, a Wendy Bealby. Wendy Bealby was interviewed by Officer Funk. She indicates that in her position, she is pretty good at calming down customers. I'm sorry, they call them guests at the casino. But in this case, nothing worked with Mr. Ross. She tried to explain the situation to him, called over a slot technician to figure out what happened. And she, Ms. Bealby, was able to go back and look at the games played and verify that Mr. Ross was only owed the $115. And he was told this, and Mr. Ross then responded, "Fuck you, bitch," cashed out the machine and said, "I will shoot you and everybody in here." Based on that, I will find a factual basis. We'll find that your plea is knowing and voluntary. Your plea will be accepted to the charge of disturbing the peace. The original plea agreement form I received from the prosecutor's office indicate a victim impact statement was received. I have not received that, Mr. Zecker. Zachary, could you read that into the record, please?
I can, Your Honor. Okay. Under victim's personal reaction, quote, coming from Vegas and being involved / victim of an actual situation, this brought back feelings and panic. I know when he said that he would shoot me and the entire casino, action needed to be taken. It will not just stand by and let this happen if it can be avoided. The aftermath of this type of situation is, for anyone involved, traumatic to say the least. Under victim's emotional injury, it says, though I do not have any bills, being threatened like this has made me feel like there's no place that is safe, publicly or anywhere for that matter. Under victim's property loss, it says no property loss or damage was incurred. Compensation, it says non-applicable. Under restitution, it says no restitution for me personally. Under sentencing disposition, it says I feel that Thomas Michael Ross needs counseling. Anything further, such as community service, should be assessed out of that point, maybe after a counseling assessment. And then under any other comments, it says Thomas should be medically and emotionally assessed, as he does have a tendency to be cruel when he is at the casino. I have had to assist him in the past, and his demeanor was the same, end quote.
Sir Ross, this is your chance to tell me anything you would like to for your sentencing.
Yes, sir. I said, I don't remember seeing any of that stuff, and when they said to leave, I left, and it's the only thing I remember. And like you said, the person that was just, I don't know who that was right there, but I got diagnosed with PTSD and psychosis and bipolar and a few other depression from the military. I got a military check from the military. I get 100%. Because they knew my mind's not right. I had a lot of traumatic problems in the service. And I got a service dog right now that's helped me. And I love my service dog. And whatever happened, I guess I'm sorry, but I do have a lot of problems. I got a lot of physical. I got a brain tumor. I got to go to an MRI tomorrow. And they said it's spreading through my brain. And I'm really scared about that, but No, sorry about everything, I guess. I guess that's all I got.
Mr. Ross, part of the police report was a document that's called a notice of a ban. Do you understand the casino has banned you from going back to their casino for the next year?
Yeah, yes, sir. They sent me a notice. I know. I don't even want to go no casinos anymore, sir.
Okay, and just so you'll know, even though this case is over today, that ban is still in effect. And if you
Oh.
even go back on the casino's property, they could have you arrested for trespassing. I just
No, I
wanted
don't. Yeah, I don't
Make
want to
sure
go near. I'm sorry.
I just want to make sure you understand that was still in place, even though this case is over today.
Yeah, yes. I know. Yes, sir. I do. I'm not going near no
Ms.
casino.
Ms. Graver, on behalf of Mr. Ross for sentencing.
I have nothing additional, Your Honor.
Well, again, this is a lot more serious than it appeared on paper. They did not charge you with anything consistent with what really happened here, which is good. And now you have a plea disposition that reduces this down to a charge of disturbing the peace. On a charge of disturbing the peace, there is now a presumption under our new statute, MCL 769, which indicates that you not receive any jail or any probation on this offense. And given that, I am going to follow the presumption in this case and impose a sentence of no jail, no probation, fines, and costs only. The fine on this charge is $500. Court costs are $300. State costs and fees are $125 for a total of $925. We'll put this out for payment over the next 3 months. So court staff will mail to you in the mail a judgment of sentence, which will indicate today you pled no contest to a charge of disturbing the peace and that you received a sentence of no jail, no probation, fines and costs only, with up to 3 months to take care of those fines and costs. So Mr. Ross, you're able to hang up from the court proceeding today. Be looking for those documents in the mail. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you. Do I
Thank you,
just
Mr.
send it
Mayor.
to? Okay. Thank you. Oops. Let's see.
Be safe, be well, sleep sweet, and much love.